Welcome, everyone, back to Lone Star Spirit. We are once again going to be looking at Hurricane Beryl. And if you have not seen my video from yesterday morning, I highly recommend that you go and check it out because there have been quite a few changes in the projected path of Beryl, especially when we're talking about the European and the American models. And just like I was fearful of, it has taken a much more northern path than previously expected. So we're going to look at the three models and see the differences between those three. And again, the reason I'm doing this is just to raise awareness, have everyone know what's going on. And I'm sure everybody is keeping their eye on the Gulf, but I feel like if I don't do my part, I'm not doing my channel or my viewers any justice whatsoever. So we're going to go ahead and look at the projected path of Beryl as it races toward Texas. We're going to look at the European model first. And of course, this is from windy.com. And again, I'm going to plug them as the absolute best weather app on your phone or on your laptop or your desktop. This Windy has just changed the game. And if you do not have Windy yet, I would highly recommend that you go ahead and do that. But we're going to look at, as I said, the European model first, and we're going to go over to the GFS and then finally the Icon. One thing I do want you to really pay attention to, especially at the beginning of each model, is where they have the center of circulation for Hurricane Beryl as of 6 p.m. Friday, the 5th of July. And you can see right here that Beryl is just offshore of the Yucatan. And as of yesterday, when I did the video, the European model had Beryl coming off just north of Campeche. And it's way, way up here. And it has taken a much more northern route. So it's almost guaranteed to hit the Texas Gulf Coast. Now, where, still a bit of a mystery. As we go through this, you'll see that a lot more. But we're going to go ahead and look where the European model has Hurricane Beryl headed in the next 48, 72 hours. So we're just going to hit play here on the motion here. And you can see that it does kind of take a little bit of a left-hand turn and then starts going west for a little while and then starts going again north. And we're going to zoom in just a little bit and reposition it. And this is as of Saturday. And it's not moving really, really fast. It's going to have a chance to actually get some strengthening into this, and we're getting into the late afternoon, early evening of Saturday, and it's dead set right now on going into Texas, somewhere between Brownsville and Houston area. Now it looks like it's going to really head toward the Corpus Christi area here. And you can see that the millibars are kind of fluctuating a little bit. And right now, forecasters are saying that it'll be more than likely a Category 1 storm. And I'm going to pause it just for a moment. You can see that it will go like maybe 3 ticks towards the west, and then it will take a tick or 2 towards the north. And as of Sunday at 10 p.m., the European model has it just southeast of Corpus Christi. And let's go a little bit further. And you can see that it looks like it's headed right for Matagorda Bay. This is Matagorda Bay right here. This is East Matagorda Bay. So if you've watched any of my hurricane videos, my history videos on hurricanes of Texas, another name is going to be in this area that we've talked about, and that's the one and only Indianola. So we're right now, as of Monday at 6 a.m., still somewhat offshore. We're starting to get those hurricane, tropical storm force winds there along the Gulf Coast, especially there around Seadrift, Port Lavaca, Palacios. And then once you get up further north into Matagorda County, start getting into Brazoria County, where you've got Lake Jackson, Sweeney. Not really crazy winds, 35, 45 miles an hour right there. And go ahead and move it in. And it's going to, looks like, according to the European model, it's going to go on that eastern side of Matagorda Bay. Not quite in East Matagorda Bay, but just on that eastern side of Matagorda Bay, just east of Palacios. And the thing that I want everyone to really take into consideration here is this storm, as you can see from the wind field, is going to be east side or northeast side loaded when it comes to winds, rain, storm surge. And you can see the winds are going to be pushing a lot of storm surge almost all the way up to High Island, which is right up here. So Galveston Bay, the Houston Ship Channel, right there, right here where the hand is, that is San Luis Pass. That basically is the border between Brazoria County and Galveston County. And the rip currents here are just insanely bad on a normal day. So you can imagine that the rip currents and things of that nature are just going to be absolutely horrible. Surfside Beach is right in here. You've also got Quintana Beach, Bryan Beach in this area right in here. So at this point, if come Monday at 8 a.m., you should be nowhere near Surfside Beach or Bryan Beach or Quintana Beach, because the storm surge is probably going to be very high. Another thing that needs to be taken into consideration and kept in the front of your mind is this is going to be your dirty side of this hurricane or tropical storm. This is where you're going to have the highest chances, probabilities of a tornado outbreak. You're also going to have huge storm surge, potential flooding rains, and it's not going to be a recipe for anything good. So it is very important that you really do take this hurricane, tropical storm, whatever it may wind up being, seriously. So once it gets on land, it is going to continue to go in a northerly direction. And you can see it's going to go just over East Bernard, go toward Prairie View, and then after that, it's going to take more of a northeasterly turn, head into East Texas, and go into northern Louisiana and southern Arkansas. This storm has defied the odds on several different occasions, and I feel that this is going to be a lot more serious than is being reported right now. A lot of the forecasters are saying that strong tropical storm, possibly a Category 1, depending on the actual path of the storm. If the longer it stays over shallow, warm Gulf Coast water, the stronger it's going to be. And as you can see, there's a possibility that it's going to maybe spend quite a bit of time over that shallow water. And there is a possibility that this could be a low end category 3 major hurricane. So everyone needs to really pay attention to what's going on with this storm. Now, we're looking at the American model or the GFS model, and if you look right here, it's in a little bit different spot. Now, if it's updated live, and it's closer to 7 o'clock now, but if we go back to the 6 o'clock hour, right there, it's a little bit, according to the GFS, the center of rotation or center of circulation is a little bit further north than what the European model said. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on here, why there's not an agreement as to where it is at that particular point in time. So again, just I don't know why these models don't jive a little bit better, but we're going to go ahead and put this into motion. I'm going to adjust it so I don't have to move the map nearly as much. Okay, so we're starting today, 6 p.m., and this is the GFS model, putting it in motion, and it kind of goes in a little bit of a westward push initially, or west-northwest push, and you can see that when it comes to the pressure, it really doesn't strengthen. It's still sitting there around 1,000. And remember, with your hurricanes, the lower the number, the more powerful the storms are. And right now, GFS is basically, it's going to be a high-end tropical storm, low-end Category 1 hurricane. But as we get closer to the Texas coast, you're seeing that it does do a little bit of a westward push and then goes north around Sunday in the early morning. And then when we get later in the morning, it really does start to go north. So we'll stop it right here, Sunday at 4 p.m., and you can see it is in a completely different place than what the European model is showing. So there's still a lot of uncertainty when it comes to this projected path of the hurricane. But one thing that you can see in all three of the models is right in here, you're going to have that wet side, very strong winds. You're going to have a lot more of your rain and things of that nature. Your water spouts, as long as it's over, as the cloud cover is over water. But at this time, it was, according to the Euro, it was a little further north. So let's get this back in motion. And it looks like it's more or less headed towards the Corpus Christi area. So right here, Monday at 1 a.m., it is just going to be off the coast where Corpus Christi is. And here's where Hurricane Harvey came in, right here at Rockport. And we're looking right here, not quite, possibly a low-end Category 1 storm, but very, very, very close to Corpus Christi. And as we go in, it looks like it's going to go right there just south of Port Aransas and just almost due east of Corpus Christi. And you back out just a little bit. Let's see what the path is going to be according to the American model after it makes landfall. Now, there is a distinct agreement here that it will take a much more northern path once it gets over land. This one takes it way further west on the other side of Victoria, then starts heading up towards College Station and going between Killeen and College Station. And a lot of people are wondering what's kind of driving this, well, there is a low trough that's going to be coming through that's pulling this to the north, and it's going to catch up with it and take this into northeastern Texas, into North Louisiana, and possibly even southern Arkansas. And you can see Tuesday, this thing ain't moving very fast at all and really starts to dissipate at this time. We're at Tuesday at 10 p.m. and that's center of rotation or center of circulation has pretty much gone away. But the same still holds true that's going to be in this area here, again, from High Island through maybe even parts of Houston, East Bernard, El Campo, Bay City, most of Brazoria County, Palacios, Port Lavaca, Seadrift. That's going to be on that dirty side. And again, you're going to have those issues when it comes to storm surge. You're going to have your tornadic activity and I hope and pray that doesn't. That's just a recipe for disaster when you have tornadoes associated with a hurricane, but it is very common for that type of thing to happen. So it's something that everyone really does need to take time to make sure that they have done their preparations. If you are planning to have an escape route, or if you're going to go somewhere that's away from the coast, make sure you're going somewhere where this storm is not going once it makes landfall. All right, now we're going to go ahead and look at the icon model because, again, this one is a lot different than the other two. Now we're on the icon model, and you can see that according to the icon, the center of circulation for Beryl is a lot further off of the Yucatan Peninsula than the other two. And just to kind of give you a broad view of where it's at right there. And we're going to put this in motion and see where the icon model decides to take this storm. So into the late night hours, early Saturday morning, it's moving much more in a northwesterly direction. There's going to be some ticks to the west, but as we go along, we're getting much closer. Whoa, we're getting much closer to like Matamoros. It's going to be almost even with Matamoros at this point. And as we go along there, you'll see a north tick, then you'll see kind of a west tick that goes along with it. And you'll see kind of an oval type of area of circulation. And it's got the millibars. If you notice, the millibars are quite a bit stronger according to the icon. So especially once it gets into these more shallow waters, they're going to be warmer. And icon, even though most forecasters say it's not for hurricanes, it's not designed for hurricanes, icon, at least in my opinion, has been the model that has been more spot on with this. The Euro had it going into Mexico. The GFS, I believe, if I don't have them backwards, had the hurricane going into, or the system going into, the Brownsville, Matamoros area, and then going up towards San Antonio. Icon always kind of had this area here. And this, right now, I have a little bit more confidence in the icon model as the other two, but the European and the American model have gone ahead and made the adjustments to get a little bit more correct, I guess you could say, is the word we're going to use here. So right now where we're at, what we're looking at is Sunday at 10 a.m. Let's get this back into motion. 982, 979. It's going to fluctuate with its millibars, 980. And you can see this is taking a much more northern route when it comes to where the icon says it's going to make landfall. And it's pretty much right there at if you were to draw a line between straight down from the Brazoria Matagorda line, county line there, it's right along that line there. Much more north, 981, 982. So we're looking at Monday morning, early Monday morning, around midnight, maybe just a little bit before there, maybe a half hour. We're looking at it going right over the southern side of Galveston Island, right there, real close to San Luis Pass. And you can see right here, again, this is where all of that nastiness is going to be with the storm surge and the severe weather that's going to be with the thunderstorms and tornadic activity is going to be right in that northeastern quadrant right there. Let's go ahead and back out just a little bit and watch as this comes in. And then it almost immediately, once it makes landfall, goes into a almost northeast type of track. So Monday, 5 a.m., and it's going to go just east of Livingston up towards the Lufkin area, going towards Nacogdoches. And you can still see a pretty good area of circulation right there, going in just north of Shreveport and then going into southern Arkansas. Now, Icon is saying that this thing is going to go all the way up towards the Pennsylvania area, be bringing a lot of rain to Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio Valley, up into Pennsylvania, and finally dissipate somewhere in the northeast. Now, I must reiterate, and I don't think I did this in the first video, I am not a meteorologist. I'm not trained in weather or anything like that, but the way that I have such a respect and a fascination for severe weather, especially when it's down in my neck of the woods and something as serious as a hurricane, even a very strong tropical storm, I'm going to do my best to try to bring the information to you in lay terms. I'm not going to use crazy terms and all this. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a trained meteorologist or anything like that, but this is not going to be an every week thing or an every month thing. This is going to be when these hurricanes threaten the Texas Gulf Coast. And I hope that you get some kind of information out of this, and maybe I've explained it in a way or shown you in a way that you can better digest it than through maybe some of the forecasting channels that are on YouTube. Even though if you got to go somewhere and you want it explained and broken down and all that great stuff, go to Weatherman Plus. He is just an amazing. Mark is just great. He's the guy I watch at least once or twice a day. He typically does not post on Saturdays. That's the Sabbath, and he respects the Sabbath. But due to the danger associated with this strong tropical storm / Category 1 to a Category 3 hurricane, he is going to be posting on Saturday. If you have not checked out Weatherman Plus, I highly recommend that you do and become a subscriber to his channel and show him some love and support there. But hopefully this will kind of clear up a little bit, hopefully make it a little bit easier to digest, and make sure that you're doing everything you need to do to make sure that you, your family, your property, your loved ones stay safe. So that's going to wrap up this episode of Lone Star Spirit. Thank you, everyone, for taking time to watch. And please, everyone, stay safe out there. And no matter where this this storm decides to make landfall, please be safe and do the right things to make sure that your family and your loved ones stay safe. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll check back in here. Probably I might do one tomorrow. I'm not sure. We'll see what comes up. We might get a little bit better idea of where this storm is going. But until then, I'm Charles. This is Lone Star Spirit. Have a great evening, everyone.